Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy. It's my pleasure. It's my honor to be out here in nature as usual. Always greeting you and bring this message of emancipation to you, pointing you inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. That's why I want to speak to you today concerning how to reprogram your subconscious mind for abundance. And we see Abdullah the black mystic from Ethiopia, who was Neville Goddard's mentor. He taught Neville Goddard how to reprogram his subconscious mind for abundance and prosperity in his life. Now, as we all know the story that Neville was studying with Abdullah for over 5 years. As a matter of fact, he would have studied with Abdullah for up to 7 years. But I believe it was 5 years at this time studying with Abdullah, and Neville had this burning desire to travel to Barbados, having left Barbados over 12 years ago at the age of 17. And he had no money and he had no work. But Abdullah begins to teach Neville how the subconscious mind works and how he must reprogram his subconscious mind. So I must let you know that from the time you're born from your mother's womb up to the age of 7 and 8, that your subconscious mind is wide open for programming, and whatever your subconscious mind has been programmed with, that would become your belief system. So basically, that would constitute your adult life, what you believe. So our conditions in life have a lot to do with what we believe. It have to do with our upbringing. It have to do with how we see ourselves. It have to do with the concept we hold of ourselves. Because remember, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So Abdullah began this work with Neville Goddard by teaching him how to reprogram his subconscious mind, by showing him that there is no lack in him when he look within himself. Because when he look within himself, he would find that there is abundance within, because all things exist in the human imagination. Also, Abdullah went on to teach Neville Goddard that the central theme of the Bible, a central character of the Bible, is man's imagination. Now, to prove that this is so true and that our subconscious mind has been programmed to believe in a God, our creator, our savior outside of ourselves, if we look at the law of mentalism, we'll see that everything was first a thought, everything was first mental, and everything was first psychological. And that was one of the first things that Abdullah would have taught Neville Goddard. So Neville would realize that the Bible, it was first a thought, it was first an idea, it was first imagined. Therefore, there's nothing beyond man's imagination, because there's nothing beyond life. Life is the highest. So the highest is in you. Therefore, you must come to understand that you are the way, the truth, and the life. So Abdullah taught Neville to discover the way, the truth, and the life within himself. He have to believe that God in man is his imagination, and start to program his mind now with the truth of God in man is his imagination. And so he must love himself. He must embrace himself. He must believe in himself. And he must trust no other but his imagination. And so, my brother and my sisters, the best way to reprogram your subconscious mind from what the system have programmed you to believe is that you have to first accept yourself. You have to first believe in yourself. And you have to see that your savior, your redeemer, your healer, your provider is your creative power. And that you can use that creative power to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to say to you that those of us who would have grown up in homes or grow up in some region around the world that believe in secular Christianity and believe that we have to look on the outside for a savior and a redeemer, I want to say that Abdullah shared with Neville Goddard that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. So that's one thing you have to reprogram your subconscious mind with, by having the right understanding of the Bible and knowing that the Bible is your spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically. Now, there's certain things that you must do to help to reprogram your subconscious mind also. One of the things that Abdullah taught Neville Goddard was isolation, to be by himself, and to remember the way how he go to bed is the way how he would wake up. So he must provide his subconscious mind with the right beliefs just before he go to bed. And when he wake up in the morning, he must program his subconscious mind with with the things that he wants in life also. So my brother and my sisters, one good thing about reprogramming your subconscious mind is that you must learn that you are to think throughout the day and that which you desire in your life, things that you want in your life, instead of thinking about the things that you don't want. Also, I'm just waiting for the wind to simmer down a little. But I just want to say also, you have to realize that self-talk is very powerful. And you have to know what to say to yourself when you are by yourself. So practice positive self-talking throughout the day and hold yourself responsible for your thoughts. Because when you hold yourself responsible for your thoughts, you'll be very much mindful of the things that you encourage in your mind. Also, Abdullah taught Neville Goddard that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. And that a thought is a vibrational frequency. Also, you must know that your brain is a transmitter and a receiver of frequency. So when you know these things and you walk along with the laws that governs the universe and the laws that governs humanity, you would realize that you can create your reality consciously. And that is why you have to practice things like meditation, visualization, scripting, affirming. All these things are helping to reshape your mind in the way of abundance and prosperity. But you have to understand that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So when you understand, my brother and my sisters, that thoughts become things, then you start to shape your mind to create all of your circumstances consciously. And you would realize also that everyone in this world is creating their reality. Though some is creating their reality unconsciously, and while those of us who understand how the subconscious mind works and how we need to reprogram our subconscious mind, we realize that we can do it consciously. So my brother and my sisters, all I'm saying is that if you would change your thinking, you'll be able to change your reality. And that you can change your reality consciously. You can have your life to be how you want it to be. So right now, just as Abdullah would have given Neville Goddard a choice, whether he was willing to use his imagination morning, noon, and night to have experienced this trip to travel to Barbados, or if he's gonna stick around and look on the outside and judge based on how things look on the outside, living in a time where there's a Great Depression and a mighty downturn of the economy. What are you gonna look at? Are you gonna believe in the power of your subconscious mind? Or are you gonna believe on the illusion that you're beholding on the outside? So we see Neville now had to sleep in his mother's home in Barbados in his imagination while he was residing in New York. And when he walked the streets of New York, he had to see himself in his imagination as if he's walking the streets of Barbados to reprogram his subconscious mind. So my brother and my sisters, we have to change our thinking. We have to change our concept, and we have to change our belief system. And the thing that has been keeping most melanated people in darkness is the belief in the Jesus and Mary story. Is where they believe that there's a Savior, there's a Redeemer, there's a Healer, and that there's a God outside of themselves. But my brother and my sisters, when you read St. John 1 and 3, you're told that all things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. Now you can attribute that Him to your own imagination, or you can attribute that Him to a man 2,000 years ago. But I'm saying to you that when you understand the Bible psychologically, and you reprogram your subconscious mind to look and focus inwardly, you will realize that that Him in St. John 1 and 3 is a personification of your imagination. Therefore, God in man is man's imagination, and the eternal body of man is the imagination, and that is God Himself, and there is no other God. So my brother and my sisters, as Abdullah would have encouraged Neville Goddard to reprogram his subconscious mind for abundance and prosperity, so too I'm encouraging you to reprogram your subconscious mind for abundance and prosperity by coming into the abundance and prosperity frequency, by lifting your vibration higher. And by lifting your vibration higher is to look within and believe that in you is the Lord and Savior. So my brother and my sisters, my encouragement to you is to believe in yourself and to listen to what the ancestors would have taught us many years ago, saying to us, man, know thyself. So that is my encouragement to you if you want to harvest abundance and prosperity in your life. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, and with the main point being sent to you, you have to use this knowledge by practicing the things that I would have mentioned to you. But remember, everything starts with self. Abdullah will never that begin with self. So there's no one to change in this world but self. Change yourself. You change your thinking and you will change your environment. So I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me and you haven't subscribed already, I'm encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share this video. But just before I leave, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye, yes, the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body be full of light. And our ancestors way back in Kemet knew the meaning of this single eye and how powerful it is for this single eye to awake within you. And those who would have plagiarized the writings of Kemet and give us the Bible, they fail to realize that the day will come when we will experience this single eye within ourselves and come to understand what the great awakening is all about and what our ancestors have been saying to us. That is why I'm saying to you that our ancestors knew the power of the sun in man, the S-U-N in man. For my brother and my sisters, when you have this great experience of which I am speaking of the single eye awakening in you, this is where you would awake from the dream of life, and you would change from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye. For you would hear the unearthly wind after that great and mighty shaking, and you would ascend like a fiery beam and come out of your skull. You would become invisible, and you will understand what they mean when they talk about the eye of Horus and the Egyptian resurrection. Okay, and then you would realize that this resurrection takes place from within. I'm just waiting for the wind to calm down just a little. Okay? And when you have this experience from within, you would realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. And that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For truly, the sun, as in the S-U-N, parallels the human imagination. And the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. In Psalms 84:11. And common sense will teach you that the sun has never withhold any good thing from humanity. For the sun is what powers all of humanity and gives humanity its energy. So my brother and my sister, our ancestors have always known the power of the sun. And that's why the Bible is the sun book. And it tells you also in Malachi chapter 4 and verses 2 that the Son of Righteousness shall arise in you, not outside of you. Not a S-O-N, it's the S-U-N. And when he arises in you, he will arise in you with healing in his wings. So it is teaching you right there that righteousness is a discovery of the S-U-N inside of you. And that is why, my brother and my sisters, I am bringing healing to all of humanity, pointing each and every one to look inwardly and encouraging you to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire. For that was the message that was taught to Neville Goddard by our ancestor Abdullah. But first of all, you have to learn to reprogram your subconscious mind to come in to this prosperity and abundance, which is your birthright. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.